questions to ask you. So after that, once I am done, I will ask you to mute. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Let me tell you. Tell me one thing. That do you have idea about the ERP applications, or you are purely an Oracle DBA?
You said ERP applications?
Yes.
No. No.
Okay. So I want to tell from the scratch, right? What is the need of it and what is the useful, how it will be useful to the end client.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Then please put on mute from your end. So whenever you have questions, please unmute it and pause me so that I will answer to your questions. Okay. Basically, I need to give you a clarification between the ERP applications and the tools that are using in our daily life. Like, for example, take C, C++, Java, or .NET. These are called as tools. I mean, using this, they are building the projects which will be useful to our business. I mean, let's take customer business. Okay. So currently you are learning about the PeopleSoft. So this is an ERP. ERP is nothing but enterprise resource planning, Fusion middleware, Oracle apps, Hyperion. These are kind of reporting tools and the ERP package. These packages will call as ERP because these are already developed and customers can directly go ahead and purchase from the product developers and they can use them directly. And they can host by themselves or they can ask the other organizations to host their systems, this kind of architectures. So basically based on the business people, how they convey their product to the customers, based on their interest, they will choose the application according to their business. So let's take PeopleSoft. Here I need to give you an example. In general, one kind of small example, bank. Let's take bank in olden days, go back to 100 years of so there, for depositing the money and the withdrawal of the money, you need to go to the bank, rush to the bank for depositing and withdrawal. After that, they have introduced the ATM machines. Okay, so half of the burden from the bank has been reduced because for the withdrawals, no one is required to go to bank until they need it. So the third point is, at present it became very easy, we have online bankings. So now the transfers also we can make it through online without reaching out the bank. Why? The reason I told about this example is related to our PeopleSoft, because the three variation which I have given as an example for bank is, the first one is like two-tier architecture. Basically, I will point out the cursor to make you more sense. See, this is a DBMS server. let's take in our example, it is an bank. Okay, process request here, the web browser, like this is the client. These people, like in general ourselves, we can directly access the database through the file server. We have a concept of file server where the file objects and the external kind of things. Since you have already worked, it is very easy to for you. File server means nothing but our PS home, like the environment name, which is containing application server, web server, and bin, main, and all those folders which you have can see. You can directly access the database. Okay, so if this is the condition, and in present situations the load has been increased, if the business has been grown up, the database will be getting crashed frequently. So for that, in order to reduce the burden from the database, they have introduced the concept of application server, this one. Okay, so what now it is doing, like take the example of the second thing. For withdrawal the money, we are not going to bank, we are using ATM machines. This is that kind of thing, because that means we are reducing almost like 40% of burden from the bank people. In the same way, in place of going directly hitting the database, first the request will pass, go to the application server, and then it reaches over to database. So there will be a communication time between application server and database server, in order it can finish the previous request which it has and take up the new request. So there will be no interruption in the service to maintain and the application available online 24/7. This is how the concept of three-tier application. And the entire application is the pure PeopleSoft Internet architecture. This is, in this, they have introduced the web server, one more layer before to the application server. Means now end user interacts the application using web browser, this one. So here I will tell you the example. Like in general, you can take any kind of site, Gmail or Facebook or anything. How you will be doing? You will just creating an account and you will be signing in using your user ID and password. Okay, so let's take Gmail. So you are interacting with the browser. So in the same way, client, the end users will be interacting with the web browsers. So after here, they will give the user ID and password. From this, the request passes to web server, and from web server to application server, and from application server to database server. So generally, this is the process how the request is flowing in PeopleSoft. So in general, while we are using Gmail or any such kind of application, we are not bothered about how it is going through in and how the data is pulling out and such kind of thing. But being an PeopleSoft administrator, we need to make sure that we need to know in and out of the flow. I mean, the service request, what it is going in and what it is going, what the output it is getting and from where it is getting. Means we need to know the communication between, how the communication is happening between web browser and web server, and the communication between web server and application server, and the communication between application server and database server. Komal, do you have any questions in this?
Yes, I'm about to ask you a question. When
Yes.
so pretty much this is not where the process scheduler comes in. The process scheduler has nothing to do with the flow from the web browser to the database server.
Okay, I didn't touch the scheduler. Okay, as of now, are you okay? What I have been explained about web server, application server?
Yes, yes, I understand it. I was
Oh,
under the impression before that the process scheduler was in the middle of this flow, but now I just learned something new. Thanks. You can go ahead.
no. Nothing like that. One second. Let me explain that also. In general, process, you know the process scheduler, what it will do.
You said what's up?
Are you aware of the process scheduler, what it will do and how it is helpful to our application?
Um, I know that what I know is that during the time when I was working there, if the process scheduler is down, we
Okay.
we we are not able to access the server from the web browser. Pretty much, we cannot access the database from the web browser. That's what I know. I know that in order for the application to come up, actually the application can come up, but there will not be any access to the database until the process scheduler comes up, agent comes up. I don't know if I'm correct.
Okay. See, what happened is, like, process scheduler is the thing which is used to generate required output or some kind of data which it can be pulled. Okay. For example, our PeopleSoft can be used for maintaining the payrolls. Okay. For example, a client is there, like take Domino's. Presently, it is our client. So we are maintaining their system, but they are not using it for payroll purpose, but we are maintaining their server. So like they some kind of processes, so which they require the data. So in this we have COBOL, application engines, SQRs, Envisions, Crystals. These 5 types of processes. These we can call them as reporting tools. So it will pull the data and provide the output to view through online. I mean from the web browser itself. If you run and processes like I will show you the session like PIA from the front end also and explain
Oh,
you in
okay.
further session.
Oh, okay, okay,
Like
okay. I think I understand you now. I remember that every time when I go, I log into to the and we have like couple of users like PS, App Server, and stuff like that, where they kind of create SQL jobs and then they kind of schedule it. So pretty
yes,
much what you are saying is that let's say I want an information to be derived now from the
correct.
database server. It is the process scheduler that will be used to get me the information I want to my web browser.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think they didn't provide you an access to the PIA. I mean, like web browser. Okay.
Okay.
If I am not wrong, correct?
You said what now? Come again, sir.
Uh, do you have access to the PIA in your organization?
Yes, yes, I have access to the web server. So pretty much what I normally do, right, when I come into work in the morning, I check for the application. If it is down, the first thing I go and check is the PIA service in the web server. Once it is
Okay.
down, then I will bring it up. And then I will
Okay.
now go
That's
to the application server, bring up the
okay.
application up using PS admin, and then now go to the batch server, which is pretty much the process scheduler and bring that agent up before everything will be able to access the database.
Your physical server, your physical server is Windows or Linux?
Pretty much our database server was on Linux, but the application, web, and the back server were all on Windows 2008.
Okay, so your environment is called as an NT environment. Okay.
You say what now?
We call them as an NT environment.
Oh, okay. NT environment.
Yes. If all the middle tier is also hosted on Linux, we will call them as Linux environment.
Oh, okay. NT is for the Windows. Then if okay, so I never knew that. So pretty much you can allow your application server and your web server and your process and the server that is hosting your process scheduler. You can let it be hosted in a Linux server also.
Yeah. Today I'm just briefing about these servers. I'm not going in deep, so we can take it up. Web server in one session, application server in one session, and process scheduler in one session.
Okay, no problem.
Entire about their configuration files. As of yesterday, I have told you we will be having a couple of configuration files, and if we face any issues in bringing up the application server or bringing down the application server, where we need to look into the log files, those kind of stuff I will be covering in the further classes.
Okay. So the config file, and then which one is the tuxedo log? Or am I moving too fast?
Yes, I will tell you about that. But let me finish about the internet architecture thing. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
So you had the doubt like I have not covered the process scheduler server, batch server, about the batch server. So can you please mute your?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. In general, I will tell you about the architecture of the client. Now, if the client is a small has small business, so he cannot invest much on his business to maintain his business, not on his business. So in that scenario, he will maintain database server. I will give you example as for your organization only. Your database server is on Linux environment, that is DBMS server, this one. I mean to say database is hosted on a physical server that is called Linux. Okay. So rest of the application server, web server, and process scheduler were hosted on Windows servers. So in this, generally for a quick and much better process scheduler and database server will be hosted on single physical server. So in your company you have a database server. So if your client is using process scheduler much more, then that will be hosted on this will be not hosted on separate physical server, but will be hosted on the same database server. Hope you got me.
Yes, you said that there are sometimes if we want to reduce costs, we can allow the process scheduler agents to be hosted in the same server as the database.
Yes, we can reduce the cost. That is the second thing. But the primary thing is, if the client is much using the process scheduler, so generally from the database, process scheduler has to get the data. If we run an COBOL process or an app engine that needs the data, it will be picking from the database only. Okay, so if database is on one server and your batch server is on another server, the request, it has to go to that server and get the data back to this server, and it has to execute it. Correct? So in that case, there is a lack of time. So even 1 minute of time or 30 seconds of time, 20 seconds of time delay is also an delay when it is in production server. So to reduce that delay, to reduce that time consumption between processes, so it will be, both will be hosted on single server. So the request is not required to move over to another server, and it has to wait there to get the data and get back data back to this server. Okay, but I have worked with many of the clients, so generally few clients only use that kind of architecture, like hosting the database and batch server on single server. Okay, that is why I didn't spoke about this thing. Going further, we can discuss more about the batch server, because it is one of the it is more important in the PeopleSoft. So if you are okay, shall I proceed further? See, let me zoom in. Sorry. If you can see, are you able to view these arrow marks? Okay, good. So the interaction between the web browser and the web server, one arrow, it is the showing like the request, it is going to the web server, this arrow, and this arrow, it is coming out the request. If once the request has been successfully go through the database and it is bypass again back to the display, that is this one. Okay, in the same way, the communication between web server and application is bidirectional, and the application server and database bidirectional. So if you see the communication between the process scheduler, it is unidirectional, not an unidirectional, it's a single way, one way. The request will be flowing through the process scheduler, and after that, once any job got executed through batch server, the output, the distribution agent, we will have an server process called distribution agent. I will talk about those things in further in detail. So it will send directly to the web server. So whatever the process or the data which we require that has been ran through process scheduler, that will be directly posted in the output to the web server. This is one-way communication. The rest all were unidirectional. Okay.
Hello, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Whenever you have any doubt, you just stop me.
Oh, okay. I was trying to take some notes down, but I want to know if you are going to send me this book for today, this one I'm looking at.
Yeah, sure. I will share this document with you. Definitely.
Oh, okay. So every every time we take a class, whatever document you use, you will send it to me, right?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
1 second. Yeah, yesterday I told I will be for doing that, but sorry, I was a bit busy, so I am unable to forward you the documents. Today I will share it with you. Okay. Components for you. Web browser. This document I will be sharing with you. So if you go through the points, you will get more idea about it. So no need to go in detail in this. If you have any doubts in this paragraphs or something, you can ask me in the next class. See, this is in somewhat more this diagram will give more idea about the PeopleSoft architecture. See, web browser, it is a request has been sent to the web server. Okay, so from this it will be sending again that request, the same request to the application server. And here in this scenario, the reason of showing the process scheduler and database server beside is the same thing which I have told you, is to reduce the time consumption. So here web browser, take an example as your Gmail account. You are signing in to the Gmail account with your user ID and password. Okay, you will just type in your user ID and password and click on sign in. So after that, the request will go inside and it will pulls out your Gmail account. That will open where you will have inbox, outbox, sent items, and whatever the stuff we can see. So like initially that request, your request will be reached to the web server using two methods. One is HTTP and the second one is HTTPS. HTTP is nothing but Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Everything we talk here like HTTP, HTTPS, the system doesn't know that. The system knows only the ports, to which port it needs to talk. But for our being a human to know about all this, so we will have the naming conventions like HTTP, HTTPS. So the communication between the web browser and the web server, that which system can identify or understand, is HTTP port number, default port number I am telling, is 80, and the second one HTTPS is default port number is 443. Okay, and HTTPS is nothing but some more secure, which the hackers or some kind of things avoid using if we use HTTPS. That is the thing. So after that, the request will be sent from web server to application server using an in the form of an jolt message. Okay, let me explain here. See, if you take the why I am telling you this is we as an peoples of admin, we need to make sure how the request is going in and how it is pulling out the data, and if anything end client is facing an issue in fetching the data or accessing his application, we as an admin needs to troubleshoot it and resolve it ASAP. So in general, web server, the communication between these two is HTTP and HTTPS. Okay. The default port numbers were 80 and 443. Okay. Communication between these two. So here till our request has reached from web browser to web server. This is fine through HTTP and HTTPS. Now it has to reach application server. So again here some port needs to be open. The default port here is 9000. Okay, which is used to identify the web server to which application server it has to talk. Okay, so here this we will call as jolt port number, jolt. So in this we will have two types of things. One is JSL and the second is JSH. JSL is nothing but Jolt Station Listener. Handler. Okay. Here these are the two server processes that are responsible while taking up the request and handling the request that has been sent from web server. So web server will send the request which it got from web browser to the application server. From here these two are application server process. JSL is responsible is the listening. So whatever the request that is coming up from web server, this process is responsible to take it up, listen it, and then it will hand over to JSH, Jolt Station Handler. So JSH is the server process which will be handling the request given by JSL. Here so many other server processes were there. I will explain you in further classes about the application server. So we will have APP SRV process and monitor server, SAM server, so many other processes were there. But I am telling you the connection between the flow of our PeopleSoft application. So here these two server processes are responsible. And here one more thing I need to tell, database can understand only SQL language. Other than that it cannot understand any kind of language. So whatever the request that has been coming up from application server, it should be converted into an SQL and then has to send to database server. So here we have a server process JREP. Okay. Okay. This process is responsible Okay. See, after till now, our request has reached to JSH. Okay. From JSH, we have the message with which we call as a jolt message. Whatever the request has been come up from web server to application server, we will call it as a jolt message. So here Tuxedo for application server to, or batch server, Tuxedo is the main thing that needs to be installed. So for that, in order to understand the jolt message to to Tuxedo, JRUP is the server process is responsible to convert the jolt message to Tuxedo understandable message. Okay. So after this, SAM server is another server process that within the application server, which is responsible to convert the Tuxedo message into.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes.
Okay, so pretty much now, these jobs, JSL, JSH, and JREP and SAM, they are the processes in between the web server and the application server, right?
Correct.
Okay, so pretty much for the web server to talk to the application server, these processes have to be there.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So we haven't even got to the database server yet. We are just talking about from web server to the application.
Yeah, we haven't touched the database server. Our request didn't went to database, not yet. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And Orlando, one more thing I would suggest you. So you are getting an some more idea about these processes. So after going to office, do you know one thing I need to ask you? Do you know how to check the status of application server? Whether it is up or down?
Yes, the way I normally check it is I check the status. Like in the PS admin, if you check, there are a couple of numbers. It will ask you status, and then once you click on once you pick I think it's number 3. I'm not sure, but once you pick it will give you the list of processes like this, and then you'll be able to know if it is up or running.
Correct. If we invoke PS admin utility and go for the third option, domain status, and in that third option you will get 3 more options. One is server status, second is client status, and third one is quit. So first one, if you go to the first option, server status, in there you can see all these server process. Okay.
Okay.
Just
okay.
give you more warm up. Yeah. So after that, SAM server is the process which is responsible to convert the message to database understandable language, that is SQL. So whatever the message till here, it will be converted into SQL language, SQL language, and that will be sent to database. Okay. Here, so there should someone who can take responsible of this request. So here database we have listener. You are aware of that since you are DBA. Okay. Listener will take up the request and it will passes over to database. And here finally, whatever the request has been come from the web browser, once it will search for that data. I mean, as of example, it will search for your Gmail account from the database, and once it find it out your profile, it will pulse over that profile back in the same process it will hand over that to the application server, from application server to web server, and finally web browser, that is you who can view your Gmail account. I mean, Gmail account is just an example. Okay, got it?
Yes, yes, I got it. Okay. Now you said that so pretty much in every SQL, in every application server can talk to the database server using SQL language.
Yes. Here database port number. It will talk with the database port number. Default port number is 1521. I think 21. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. So in our language, to understand ourselves, we will talk it as SQL language.
Oh, okay. So the application server is capable of using the SQL language to talk.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, but the machine doesn't know that it is in SQL language, or this is an Jolt message, or this is an tuxedo message. But they will talk with the appropriate port numbers. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any questions in the introduction? This is all about the our PeopleSoft pure internet architecture, and in detail in tomorrow's sessions I will talk about the web server. One day I will take it up, and one day I will talk about application server, and here one more thing, most important thing is batch server. Okay. So as of now, you have any questions to ask me? Kamal, do you have any questions to me?
Could you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I am asking that. Do you have any questions to me?
So far, no.
Okay, good. So this is how till now what I have told you here. The communication, how it is going on, that will be represented in this picture. See, can you explain me how this is going on? If you take a minute, understand this diagram, and then tell me the how the request flow is going in and reaching over the database and getting the request back.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to start from the web browser. Let's say, for example, now you have let's say you are trying to log into Facebook, for example, and let's say Facebook are using PeopleSoft. You put your username and password, and then from there, first of all, you have to log into the web browser. which it will use either through HTTP or HTTPS. And the HTTP port is 80, and the HTTPS port is 443. So once you put your username and a password, it will log you in, and then from there it will access the web server through that HTTPS. And then from there, the web server will now access the application server using port 9000. So from there, the application server will now access the database server using a SQL language and then using one of the listener ports. The default one is 1521, but you can create different ports also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then once you get to the database server, for the database server to bring the information back to the web browser, is going to use the process scheduler agent to send the report out to the web browser.
Okay. Good. So let me explain you clearly. See, this is our machine. Are you able to view my screen where I am putting the pointer? Okay.
Yes.
This is
I'm
our
going to
machine.
unmute myself now. I'll mute myself now.
Okay, sure. Okay, this is our local machine. I mean our laptop or desktop, whatever it is. So from here we will be putting our user ID password. Okay, and that will reach over using HTTP port to the web server. This is how. So HTTP port or HTTPS, and from here it is going using sending the message to the application server using Jolt port number, that is 9000. See, if you find out these arrows, it is bidirectional. Again, I mean 9000 port number. Here the JSL, this is JSL, which is responsible to handle the request that is coming up from web server. So, and after JSL, it will hand over the request to JSH, server process. Why I am keening you in these areas is like, for troubleshooting purpose, we need to make sure each and every server process, how it is helpful and how it is useful in pulling over the data. So that way I am keening here mostly. So you should become familiar with all the server process that are in application server and process scheduler, everything. So after JSH, it is giving the request to SAM server. So after that, here SAM server process, it will take up the request and it will send the SQL language to database. Once the data has been fetched from the database, again the SQLs has been resent to the application server. Here these are the appropriate server process who is responsible to take up the request from database, PS APP-SRV, PS Quicks SRV, PS Query server, and PS SAM server. And in the same way, the request will pass on to JSH, and JSH will send it back to the web server, and from the web server to web browser. This is the process flow, how it happens when we log in through the PIA. So do you want me to show up PIA site, or in further process we can do that, right? Okay. So this is all about the introduction session. So if you have any doubts, please ask me, and tomorrow I will start up with web server, and I will Yeah, please go ahead and ask me if you have any questions. I will share the content with you, course content with you, and we can go through the through the contents or taking up one topic each day.
Okay, okay, no problem. I am fine right now. Most of the questions I will be asking will be when we are going further.
Yeah, sure.
And also are we going to also practice how to do the installation from scratch?
Come again?
Are we going to try to do like an installation of PeopleSoft from scratch after we finish everything?
Yes.
Okay, okay,
So
no
do you
problem.
have any personal laptop with you?
Yes, I have my laptop with me.
Can you tell me the configuration?
I'm configured. I know my laptop is Windows 8. Um, it has it has 8 GB memory RAM. I currently
8
have a
GB.
V. Huh?
How much RAM size?
8 GB RAM.
Okay.
And
And
right now, I currently have a VM machine running on it, VMware 2, because I am using it to like fake like create like a Linux database server, because I'm using it for my rack practice. So that's
okay,
what is
got it.
here. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that
it
is
is a
fine.
good. Huh?
Oh, that is fine. We can use one more VM that we can install Windows 7 or something, and we can start up the installation.
Okay, so we can just do like a practice for like putting everything in one box, right? Or putting
Yes,
or create
yes,
multiple small boxes or something like that.
for practice purpose. That will be fine and good enough to learn you more.
Okay, okay, because I know that at my former job when I was where they were using PeopleSoft, that I know it was one server that was hosting the application server and the process scheduler. It was on one server, and then the web server was on a different server, and then database on a different server.
Yes.
Yeah.
It should be like you are maintaining both production and non-production, or you have access to
Yes.
only non-production.
In the production, right? In the production environment, it is every server hosts its own. One server hosts the web server, one server hosts the application, one server hosts the batch server, which is the process scheduler, and then the Linux server for the database server. But on the test and development side, they have the same server hosting the application and the batch server.
Okay. What is
Yeah.
the level of access for you?
You said what?
Level of access to you. Are you working on both production and non-production, or only
Yes.
non-production?
Yes, I was working on all of them before I left. I'm not working there anymore, but that's why I wanted to take a class so that I can go back and become a PeopleSoft, Oracle PeopleSoft DBA, because I don't want to forget PeopleSoft at all. It's a very good tool.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So that's all about today's section. So tomorrow daily at 6:30, our session will be starting, right?
You said at 6:30?
Yeah.
You mean 6:30 my time?
Yeah. Your time. Today we started this session, right?
We started the session at 8 o'clock my time.
Okay. Yeah. Our time 6:30. Okay. Fine.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock Eastern time. Where are you at? Are you in the U.S.?
No, India.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. 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 No problem.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, man. Oh, so you are Indian.
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I grew up with a lot of Indians. Funny enough, my dad worked at iron and steel company in Nigeria, and they had a lot
Oh,
of Indian contractors and Russian contractors also.
yeah, good.
Yeah,
Wherever you go towards in the world, you can find Indians.
I know, right? Indians and Nigerians, they are everywhere, man, everywhere, man.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays I see so many people in India also, Nigerians, so many people. I'm finding them very frequently.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and the IT world now, I have couple of co-workers that are from Pakistan at where I was working at before. But right now, it's just me. I'm the only DBA where I work at. So I've been really, really busy. Sometimes I will let you know, like, okay, tomorrow I will not be able to attend the class because I'm doing a lot of projects at work right now. So I'll be really, really busy. I just got back from work 10 minutes before I logged in.
Okay,
Yeah,
definitely. You can
I
intimate
work for
me if you have work tomorrow. You can tell it today itself, or if it is immediate, that you are unable to attend the meeting also. It is fine. No issues. It depends. Some days I may be busy, so I will postpone the session. If you are busy, we can postpone and take it up that session in the next day. There is no
Okay, no
issues.
problem.
Okay.
No
It's all
problem.
depends on how we are.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Komal.
No
Have a
problem.
nice day.
Yeah, thanks. And please don't forget to send me this document so I can just read through it in the morning.
Sure, definitely. I will share this document with you. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And, and whatever the doubts that you will have, keep it in mind and ask me in next session. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks.
nice day. Bye.
You too.
Samir.
I don't think it's there anymore.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, oh, yeah, you made the CSOP guys, right? I don't see anybody. I see somebody is
But
online.
yes.
Okay. All right. So you just going to log out, right?
Yeah, I will be logging off. You can close the session.
Okay. Have a nice one. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Bye. Hello, Shamir.